Chinese products are everywhere. In fact, if you look around the room you're in, you'll soon discover that a huge percentage of the products have been either made in China or have been assembled in China. From the computer to the light fittings, much of the stuff we see every day and everywhere was made in a factory somewhere in China. China and the US are the largest two trading partners of India. While Indian exports to the US outnumber the imports from the country, the same case is not true when it comes to China. China, Asia's largest economy and the world's second biggest, with a GDP of about $13.6 trillion, with supplies of industrial components to raw materials to investments in India's startups and technology firms. The country is India's biggest trading partner after the US. Since 1978, when trade relations formally resumed between the two countries after the Indo-China War.
After this globalization started in 1992, and after that when India opened this territory for liberal trade, I think after that that relationship, particularly the trade relationship between India and China increased, and today we are importing almost around 65 billion worth of goods from China and exporting around 16.6 billion. This was the figure of 2019-20, and the trade deficit was around $49 billion. But prior to that, in 2018-19, the deficit was around $53 billion, and even in 2017-18, the total trade deficit with China was around $63 billion. So in last 2-3 years, of course, India has been making attempt to bring down this deficit. However, still in terms of deficit, this is the highest deficit, and I think this is a cause of worry for India. And particularly when Prime Minister Modi, he has talked of Atmanirbhar Bharat. So considering that there was over dependence, and this COVID-19 situation, this exposed the vulnerability of Indian industry because we were highly dependent on China for many of the imports, for many of the raw material. Big realization for the Indian government as well as Indian industry.
As China is India's one of the top trading partners for the period between April 2019 and February this year, China accounted for about 14% of India's total imports. However, India's total exports to the country was a mere 5%. Clearly, we buy more from China than we sell. So this trade deficit with China is also a major contributor to India's overall trade deficit. So let's understand what India imports, that is, buys from China. So India's imports from China rose from about 13.7% in 2018-2019 to 14.1% in 2019-2020. Majorly, we import engineering goods, electronics, pharmaceuticals, automobile components, nuclear reactors, machinery, parts, toys, textile, to even footwear. And now let's understand what India exports, that is, sells to China. On the contrary, India's export to China rose from just 5.1% in 2018-2019 to only 5.3% in the year 2019-2020. Organic chemicals, ores, slag and ash, mineral oils, mineral fuels, and other industry products comprise of India's export to China. So we basically export raw materials and import the finished goods, which is a major factor in this trade deficit. So now the question arises that why do we import in bulk from China and not produce in India? So currently, the Chinese products dominate the Indian market on many segments such as toys or electronics. Our domestic toy making industry, for instance, gradually destroyed, and over 80% items today are imported, out of which 75% are just from China. So this happens because the wages in China are cheaper, the materials are more accessible, giving them a major cost advantage. Therefore, many small and medium enterprises buys goods from China at very cost-effective rates and resells them in our country.
The labor in India is, as compared to China, is cheaper, but our productivity is lower. So the per unit cost of production in India is higher because our productivity is lower. So why we are producing bicycles, we are importing bicycles from China and not producing in India. So I think a concerted effort has to be made by the government of India, which the government is now doing, creating clusters for manufacturing, say, cycles. So there could be many common facilities which can be created where the cluster enterprises can take advantage of these common facilities and their cost of production will come down substantially. So we have to create clusters of various goods and commodities so that we can create the common facilities in these clusters, and then the individual enterprises can take advantage of those common facilities and their cost of production comes down substantially. Also, we have to break the red tape. I was reading one WhatsApp message which was circulating that an Indian company in around 15 years back, they went to China, and even at that time, 15 years back, they said it took them just 10 days to get all the permissions and they could start their factory in China within 6 months. So in India, getting all the permissions and starting a factory would take around 2 years. So we have to reduce this gap and we have to create that ease of doing business. We have to make sure that we have a one window clearance. Similarly, we should have ready land bank.
So China not only exports but has done foreign direct investment into the country. So as per the Brookings India report, the total amount of current and planned Chinese investment in India has crossed about $26 billion. And about 800 Chinese companies are present in the domestic market today. They have roughly 75 manufacturing facilities for smartphones, consumer appliances, construction equipment, power gear, automobiles, optical fiber, and chemicals. So companies like Oppo, Vivo, Fosun International, Haier are some of the largest Chinese brands and manufacturers in India. But India is not behind. It too has done FDI in China, but not as much as they have. Adani Global, Dr. Reddy's Laboratories, Jindal Steel and Power, Bharat Heavy Electricals are some of the Indian firms present in the Chinese boundaries. So now it must be clear that India is the biggest market for Chinese business outside their own country. So reportedly, China-based companies have stepped up their investment in Indian companies, including startups. So as per the Gateway House research, Chinese tech investors have put an estimated $4 billion into Indian startups since the 2015. Alibaba, for example, has invested in Indian e-commerce company like Snapdeal, the digital wallet Paytm and food delivery platform Zomato, while Tencent meanwhile has backed Indian messaging company Hype and ride-hailing app Ola. In fact, Gateway House found out that more than half of India's 30 unicorns that are private firms worth more than $1 billion are funded by China.
Unicorns have been funded by Chinese investors either directly from China or through Singapore route or from other route. And recently there was a press note which made it necessary. The automatic route was done away with countries having land border with India. So China, in fact, it was practically targeted to China because a lot of investment was coming in our startups from China. That really helped Indian innovation to really come up, and a lot of startup industries was getting good funding from Chinese investors. But we have to face the reality, and if one door closes, the other door opens.
The smartphone dominance. So the present generation needs cost-effective devices without compromising on features, and China delivers it to them. India's emergence as the biggest overseas market for Chinese mobile phone companies is one of the most significant developments in China's relation with India over the past 5 years. Chinese smartphone brands led by Xiaomi, Vivo, Oppo, and Realme are the market leaders in India with an estimated 72% share put together, leaving behind Samsung or even the Apple. The India sales of these top Chinese smartphone brands totaled more than $16 billion in 2019. So the Chinese smartphone makers have already built factories and created jobs in India. Interestingly, these smartphone makers have embraced Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Make in India program. So Xiaomi locally manufactures 95% of these phones and sells it in India itself. And hence, any adverse announcements forcing Chinese business to shut shop in India will add to the unemployment rates in India. India's dependence on China for bulk drugs. The pharma king of the world, India is the third largest in the world by volume and ranks 14 by value. The country exported medicines worth $14 billion to the US in the 2018-2019. However, India imports 2/3 of its active pharmaceutical ingredients, or you call the key ingredient drugs, from China. So basically, the ingredients of the dish is from China and the final dish served is from India.
India is the third largest pharma industry in the world in terms of volume. And 2/3 of the APIs of Indian pharma industry is being imported from China. In these COVID times, there was a realization that this kind of dependence is not good. So there is a very clear message to Indian industry also that going forward, either we start manufacturing these APIs in India, or we develop more sources, maybe other countries, so that our portfolio gets diversified and we are not dependent on one particular country. So what needs to be done is that all those manufacturing of APIs will happen only when we have a right conducive environment in India, and we have the technologies also. So we have been always as a chamber saying that import technology, not products. So here we as an industry also, we should rise to the occasion. We should make sure that we get the required technology, or we develop the technology in-house, and we stand on our own feet and not depend on any country for that matter.
India and China tourism. So travel between India and China had been growing before the COVID-19 pandemic. Mainland China was in fact the 8th largest market for India in 2018, with nearly 3% share in total arrivals. From just 1,571 arrivals in 1981, the number rose to 2.8 lakh in 2018, growing at an annualized rate of 32.4%. However, 48% of the arrivals were for business purposes, while another 48% were for leisure.
If we have that capability even now, if we are exporting to other countries, so if those items are also being exported by China to other countries, so we have to see why we are not able to compete in those countries. And accordingly, we have suggested that these are the common items which are being exported by China, which are also being exported by India. And India can also, given a few things, like as I said, if our cost of doing business can come down, like cost of land, cost of compliance, cost of power, cost of doing business, cost of labor. So these are the areas where we need to work a lot. Cost of logistics, we are almost 8 to 10% higher in terms of cost of logistics, which makes us not very competitive, which is creating cost advantage to say China or to other countries. If we can do that, I'm sure that India can be even exporter in a substantial term, and we can replace many of the exports which are being done by China, and we can cater to those countries and in those items where others are exporting and we are not able to export.
India and China are intertwined when it comes to trade. The dependency is from both ends. However, if India needs to buckle up on reducing their imports and increasing the exports to maintain the trade deficit, flexible trade policies which would curb business to take China route need to be aligned by the government. This would not only boost the outreach of made in India products in India but other nations as well.